Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half. If you are keeping count, we'll probably just release the audio as one, but I don't know. Fuck it. We might just make it two podcasts. Who cares at this point? We're an unprofessional bunch of shitbags, especially myself. So let's crack on with the end of year awards for the mainstream professional wrestling world of 2021. Fifth annual awards. Yes, indeed. And probably our last because we'll get taken off the air after this shit heap. Jeremy Miller, stop laughing. Even when I'm not looking at the screen, I know you're laughing. Right, let's crack on, shall we? We've had best female, we've had worst female, we've had best male, we've had best tag team, and of course, worst tag team. Certainly was quite enjoyable if you checked out the first half. Let's start with something a little bit different and go with the most underrated talent of 2021. Jeremy Miller, who do you believe is the most underrated wrestler or wrestlers maybe of 2021?
Dante Martin.
Good shout. Yes. Good wrestler.
He is a very good wrestler, and I think he will do good things in 2022. The way that they've booked him on Elevation and Dark, very good. Now that he's getting on the main
I don't know what those things are. Nobody watches shitty YouTube wrestling unless it's CWP.
But yeah, the way he's going right now, it's him and Lio Rush together. Very good.
Good choice.
Cannot wait for that match because I know Leo's going to turn on him or Dante's going to turn on Lio, and that is going to be an absolute barn burner.
Yeah. Man, I love Lio Rush, but I just cannot bring myself to watch AEW just so I can watch my boy Leo. Tanvir, the most underrated talent in mainstream wrestling for 2021.
There's so many that I could think of, but I'm going to go with my heart, my gut, because I love this guy so much. Most underrated, Chad Gable. I love Gable so much. He's so fluid, so crisp in everything he does, and yet it surprises me that he's never been like intercontinental champ or at least like held a mid-card belt.
He was tag team champion with Bobby Roode.
True.
I mean, they were supposed to book him as the next Kurt Angle according to what they were going to do with him, but then I don't know.
That's what we wanted, but I don't think Vince McMahon was like, "Oh, you're gonna be Shorty G. That's gonna be money. You look like that midget Steve Nash. Yeah, that's money." It's just fuck off. Terrible. Like, you know, WWE. By the way, I might slag AEW off a lot. WWE is at fault for a lot of things. Predominantly things like that. Chad Gable has the potential to be the next Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle wasn't a big man by any means. I think he was only 5'11", 6 foot tall at a stretch. Like, he was not a huge leviathan of you. I mean, obviously he was a brick shit house, but I just don't understand why someone like Chad Gable isn't used. And also, he's good promo. It's not like, oh, he's a good wrestler, but he can't promo. He's actually very funny. Him and Jason Jordan were phenomenal. You know, everyone loved them as a pairing in NXT. And obviously, Jason Jordan was Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. And that even opened the door somewhat for Chad Gable to walk right in. But nah, we could pick the guy who legitimately could get away with being Kurt Angle's son, or we could pick the black guy instead. Great stuff. Vince McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, with his closet racism. Cameron Anderson, the most underrated wrestler of 2021.
I think I've got a good one because we've got the box and I'm going outside the box because there's someone who I really like who is so hated on Twitter, on everywhere I look, and that's Goldberg. I love Goldberg. Every single time he comes back for a match, I always watch it and I always enjoy it. With the exception of
fucking Christ.
Cut his mic. Cut his fucking mic.
Fucking hell, Cam.
I just think Goldberg,
he's
for what he is, like, he's pretty good.
Goldberg,
I like Goldberg.
Underrated.
To be fair.
Oh, wow. I wish I'd left this till last. Imagine if this was the end of the podcast and Goldberg is like the most under. Do you know what? I've got to say this. This is going to upset a lot of people. One of my favorite moments of the entire year was seeing Goldberg's 15-year-old son get the shite kicked out of him by Bobby Lashley.
Oh, yes.
Fucking money. It was worth bringing Goldberg back for that moment alone. That, for me, is easily the funniest thing I've seen in wrestling all year. That is fucking incredible. And then having the temerity to MVP being as black as possible, getting on the mic and going, yo, that could be anyone's fucking kid, man. I was like, wow, okay. Amazing.
They smashed it. Literally, like Goldberg just locked up with Bobby Lashley, and to be honest, I was quite drunk, but I loved it. He just locked up with Bobby Lashley. I'm like, this is the best match I've ever seen in my life. I love Goldberg, and look, you can say I'm having my match of the year. You can say what you want. You can say I'm having my Sandman's the best technical wrestler moment.
Not
but
that
I'm
bad.
going to stand by it because I love Goldberg.
Fucking hell.
That is amazing. That is genuinely, that might be my favorite worst pick of all time. I kind of, the thing is, right, he's so hated that he is kind of underrated. It's not wrong. Like, it's a weird thing to say because Goldberg is a big steaming sack of placenta, but at the same time, he's so hated that you're like, yeah, no, you're fair. Like, he's like, I'll tell you what, he's definitely better than when he wrestled The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. I'll give him that much.
Oh, God.
Because that was a. Do you know what? I've got a sensible pick. I'm really annoyed now. I wish I hadn't bothered fucking picking someone sensible. My most underrated talents are GYV, Grizzled Young Veterans on NXT.
Yeah.
They are
Great
woefully underutilized. I think they're the best tag team in the world to not hold any kind of gold. I think it's ridiculous that they are not NXT champions and they constantly keep getting overlooked. MSK was fine. Great rivalry with MSK. One of the best matches I saw all year was, well, basically anything that had MSK and GYV in it. And with the new 2.0 thing, they've just basically been demoted to jobbers. You know, they're the funny British guys who'll just put things over. They need to come back to NXT UK and cement the NXT UK tag team division by smashing up, what is it? The Pretty Boys. I forgot what their names are. The two, Pretty Deadly. That's it. Fucking great. They were amazing. Their match, by the way, with British Strong Style as well at NXT TakeOver UK Cardiff, I think, was fucking awesome. Also, Blackpool, whatever it was. Like, they always do great stuff. And Zach Gibson is, for me, one of the best heel promos in the entire world, and he gets no love for it. So
because he's Liverpool's number one.
Can you do the accent, though, Miller?
No.
I beg you try it. I beg that you try it,
We
please.
were waiting for the pinnacle. We were waiting.
All right. Because I'm Liverpool's number one.
That wasn't actually that bad.
All right, Governor. Go on, shine your shoes. Grizzled Young Veterans, Governor. Four. Your British accent is always the same. Like, you could have just gone for the fucking chicken teriyaki, you bastards. And instead you're just like, oi, all right, Gov. Pardon me, sir. Can I have some more, please, sir? Fucking the greatest podcast ever. I honestly thought we peaked at Goldberg, but Miller is just fucking overtaken. He's like, get out of the way, Goldberg. It's my time now. My time.
I can't get over Goldberg.
I'm going to have a
I've already had my time. I've already been called a pedo on this fucking show.
Yes! I see you've joined the Dirty Dave Dennis Club.
Oh, no.
Yes. You and Ebenezer, mate. Couple of nonces. Love it. Anyway, that's another
the
thing.
van is in business.
Yeah. This is, oh dear. I can hear Magic Martin Rowe crying somewhere in a dark room. That, very much that. Right, moving on. Because that was a car crash. Fucking hell. So, most underrated, fair enough. What's the shittest weekly wrestling show in mainstream wrestling? Jeremy Miller.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we do a 3-2-1?
Raw.
Yeah, we've all got the same answer. Raw. It's Raw.
Absolute
Raw.
freaking AIDS.
fucking
What a
Raw.
fucking steaming pile of shit Raw is. I hate Raw. Raw sucks donkey balls. It's got Doudrop. It's got Goldberg, but he doesn't beat up fucking his own son. And Lashley doesn't beat up his son on Raw. He does it on pay-per-view, so that doesn't count either. It's got, we got AJ Styles. Let's have him job every week. Like, it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible TV show with a great champion.
AJ going to NXT?
I reckon he's coming close to the end of his contract, and he's like, yo, let me just go down and help some people out in it, because I'm obviously not going to do anything else.
I think AJ will leave. I think AJ's going to stay. I think he even said that he's going to just finish his career at WWE. And if it means going to NXT, putting over some young guys, giving them experience, then and he's happy doing it, then fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just Raw sucks. There you go. That was pretty easy, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Nice easy time. Cameron Anderson, you agree that Raw sucks?
Didn't watch an episode this year, so
I fucking said right there. Absolutely.
Nice.
Well, we've gone from the shittest. Let's go to the best. Tanvir, talk nice and loudly into the mic because it sounds like you're in someone's toilet, not your own.
Sorry.
The match of the year for 2021.
Fucking hell. Fuck, I didn't expect this right off the bat. So my best match of the year is actually going to be kind of a curveball. It's Roman
Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley.
Nah, that's Cam's. That's Cam's. I'll leave Cam to that.
What the fuck?
No. My pick is Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan from Fastlane.
It's a great match.
I saw Ilya Volta. I've seen other matches, and yeah, I love them. But this match for me just took me back to why I became a fan of wrestling. It just made me feel like a kid again. I just sat there watching, and I'm like, I love Daniel Bryan, and this year Roman's been great. And they've had a match before at Fastlane, and that was great. So, but seeing it here, seeing the intensity and how much they've grown, I was, this is why I love wrestling. This is great.
Great pick, to be fair, actually. Really kind of arguably one of the most underrated main events of the year. I thought, other than his match with Cena, which I thought was very kind of bland, I thought Roman Reigns had the best sequence of main event matches I have seen a heavyweight champion have in a long time. And for everyone out there going, but Kenny Omega, he has nobody cares about your twinkle-toed fuck-faced fucking fans. Nobody gets shut up. Nobody cares. Like, you know, just fuck off. Honestly, Kenny Omega is a fine athlete, but I'll tell you what, Tanvir will fucking agree with me because he watches NJPW. Kenny Omega in North America sucks compared to Kenny Omega in New Japan.
He does.
Oh, absolutely.
It's why whenever Don Callis is like, he's the god, I went, 2017 Kenny Omega for me is the greatest of all time because Kenny operated on that next level where he was untouchable, whereas now he's just a bit shit. Sorry, Jay. Sorry, Miller.
Yeah.
No, I can barely hear you, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cameron Anderson was so offended he almost left the chat there. He was like, "Yo, fuck this."
It's my phone.
I'm Omega for life.
Right, well, we need to move on, boys, because of the time limits. Great pick, Tanvir. Cameron Anderson, the best match you saw in 2021, and if it's not from SummerSlam, I'm going to be pissed off.
Look, I'm sorry. I know I just said Goldberg's my favorite wrestler of all time, but I'm not choosing Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley. I'm choosing the sequel to Tanvir's pick, which is the WrestleMania main event between Roman, Daniel Bryan, and Edge, because it was really good.
Nice one, Cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, great pick. Great match. Amazing. It's got Edge in it, who, by the way, was my second best wrestler of the year behind Josh Alexander. To be 47, to be in that shape, to come back from a career-ending neck injury and wrestle the quality of matches he does. By the way, he had a Hell in a Cell match, or a steel cage match, I think it was, with Kevin Owens that nobody even fucking saw in Madison Square Garden. I bet that is fucking a match of the year contender right there.
Oh, that's criminal, isn't it? That is criminal.
There has to be video of that somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be. That should be on Pornhub, mate. Enough said. That is fucking horny. Fuck, that is. Jay Miller.
In a cage.
Jay Miller, your match of the year for 2021.
I'm going to blow all your minds. I'm going women.
Ooh.
Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania.
Nice.
It's really good, but I feel like I actually think there's probably been better women's matches. But it is good. Yeah, no, it is. It's a weird one. I think the gravitas
is one of the best matches of 2021. The fans were back, and you could just feel the electricity between the two of them. You could see the emotion in both of them. It wasn't scripted. The emotion was real. And then the match itself. I'm sorry, when fucking Bianca Belair got whipped with that, or not Bianca, when Sasha got whipped with that hair and that fucking cut right on her stomach. Oh, beautiful. Fucking beautiful.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
BDSM fan Jeremy Miller, ladies and gentlemen. Well, all three of you had picks, and all three of you got it completely fucking wrong, as I would expect you all to, because it is clearly Ilya Dragunov versus Volta from NXT TakeOver 36. If you do not think that is the best match of the year, you are AIDS. You are not allowed to speak of wrestling ever again. It is by far and away one of the greatest matches of the modern era. But what about Kenny Omega versus Hangman Page? Shut the fuck up. This is meaty hot erection. Like fucking ridiculous. Seriously, I would suck Volta's cock after watching that. Fucking monstrous, mate. Unbelievable. Two men just literally going, oh, should we have a wrestling match? Now, let's go out there and actually try and fucking kill each other for the sake of a fucking fake belt. What fucking go on, lads? Like, just mate, they literally murdered each. That was close to as real as you'll ever get in wrestling. That made New Japan look like soft style, innit? Like, sorry, mate. Fucking honestly, Will Ospreay's limp dick ain't touching that. Like, fucking come on, fam. Ilya Dragunov versus Volta. Like, the first one was everyone's match of the year from last year. This is for me, that is as close to perfection as you'll ever get in terms of wrestling. That's up there with Brett and Austin from WrestleMania 13. That's up there with the first ever Hell in a Cell. That is an all-time worthy classic. And honorary mentions, obviously, Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley from SummerSlam, which is fucking fantastic. So,
Goldberg is back.
I'm sorry, when his kid got put in the hard that was a moment.
It was a moment.
Let me give an honorable mention to Seth Rollins versus Edge at Crown Jewel.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Yeah.
I'll just say Seth Rollins, really entertaining at the back end of this year. He's really become quite a great wrestler again, and I'm really loving the over-the-top stupidity of his stylism and like kind of ego. I think it's great. I think he's really good. But yeah, no, there's so many good matches. It's hard to pick. Everything that Roman Reigns did seemed to be amazing. Reigns versus Cesaro is kind of a forgotten gem. Yeah. So, plenty of options. Right, let's move on as the time limit draws to a close. What have we done? Well, we've had best male. We've had best female. We've had worst female. We definitely had that. Best tag team. We had worst tag team. We've had the most underrated. We've got 3 left from what I can tell. So let's go for something that obviously is very close to my heart. The Ricky B Award. Everybody knows one of my best friends in life, Ricky B, sadly passed away from a heart attack at the age of 32 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, take your fucking health seriously. Take your heart health seriously. There is a fantastic thing called CRY, which is Cardiac Risk of the Young. And that is an amazing charity that gives heart screenings for young people so they can basically check to see if there's anything wrong with them. And since his passing, I know that his widow has made an astonishing amount of money, and we've all worked very hard and tirelessly to try and help that cause. Ricky B loved entertainment. His favorite wrestler was The Rock, and he would constantly recite all his promos at school with me. I always loved Austin. He always loved Rock. We always used to think we were like the mega powers of our own. So this award is for the most entertaining wrestler of the year, probably the best promo of the year, a guy who is the personification of the entertainment side of wrestling, not necessarily the best wrestler technically, but someone who entertains more than anybody else. Jeremy Miller, who is the Ricky B Award for 2021?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah, I believe I gave it to him last year, and with good reason.
The man is killing it on the mic. And even recently with his promos against Punk. The shots across the bow with the King of Kings and the note, "You can't see me, man." Like, it was fucking insane. But Punk with his retorting, very good too. I just can't wait for that match.
Yeah. Can't wait to see CM Punk job out MJF.
Don't say
Probably
it.
Cameron Anderson, who entertained you more than anyone else in 2021?
I've just got to say,
Goldberg.
it's not Goldberg. It was pretty good, but I just have to think that my favorite promo of this year has got to be John Cena is like missionary every single night. Roman Reigns has been so on fire this year.
Yeah, he's
Everything
been amazing.
he's said has just been amazing. Just the whole sort of bloodline, everything to do with him has just been incredible. There's some fantastic memes about him. I just, everything he does is just fantastic. He just pisses gold, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Best storyline by far in wrestling this year in terms of longevity and quality of promos is the bloodline with Paul Heyman and the build up to them firing Paul Heyman, which has just been amazing. And also Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, wickedly underappreciated at Saudi Arabia. That is actually fucking awesome, that match. As is the Hell in a Cell between Seth Rollins and Edge. Actually, really underrated pay-per-view. I know people don't want to say it because blood money and all that, but the reality is that it was a great pay-per-view. Actually, it was really good. Tanvir, most entertaining wrestler of 2021.
For me, Eddie Kingston.
Great choice.
Yeah.
I love Eddie Kingston so much. Just
real.
Every time I see him on screen, I'm like, I'm gonna be entertained. I'm ready. But everything he says is just so real, and you hear him, and you're like, yeah. And the thing with Eddie is, he feels relatable.
Yeah, absolutely. As relatable as the bottom half of your head, Tanvir. Absolutely amazing.
I'm having to like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Great pick.
I keep moving.
I didn't pick Tanahashi or
I thought you were going for the flappy-headed Canadian thing from South Park. Good stuff. Just brilliant. Yeah, no, normally I like to have a bit of fun with these awards to a certain extent. Obviously, I'm not, because I can hear Ricky B's soul saying, fucking pick the right one or I'll kill you. Absolutely. He wouldn't. He just rugby tackled me because he was a standout rugby player in his time. Yeah, no, MJF is my pick as well. I think that MJF is by far and away the most real and honest promo other than Eddie Kingston in the entire world. I think Eddie Kingston is number 2 for me. And, you know, people saying, you hate AEW. Well, apparently not that much because they got 2 of the best white workers of the modern era. And frankly, the reason I hate AEW is because guys like that don't seem to get the push. Why is Eddie Kingston not a champion yet? And yet, you know, all these other scrubs are getting pushes. Unbelievable. Yeah, we got time for Varsity Blondes. Don't worry about Eddie Kingston. He'll just be in the background sucking off fucking John Moxley's chode. Great use of all talent that is, you fucking penis, Tony Khan. MJF, yeah, it's as simple as that. Everything Jay Miller said. He's an amazing promo. He's honest. He's raw. The stuff with CM Punk is very special. I just hope they pull the trigger right. The only downside to MJF is whenever he has to wrestle Chris Jericho, because Chris Jericho needs to get his big fat carcass in the way of MJF's incredible push, because he's got to still feel relevant, even though he's literally done everything in his career and could just sit at the commentary table and collect a nice big fat paycheck. Get out of the fucking way. Let MJF be the megastar he will be for the next 20 years. It's a great pick. 2 awards left. And I've left arguably the 2 awards that are going to piss people off the most, because it's really important to me that we wind up our audience. And let's be honest, this is the most hated podcast in all of British wrestling, and I am determined to get it over even more as a sack of shit. So, who is the worst male wrestler of 2021, Tanvir?
Let's go Dr. Luther.
Yes! We have a match. I have Luther down of AEW.
Yes! Oh my god, yes!
Get in. He is a fat, steaming amoeba of shit. Get him. Tell me why he's rubbish, Tanvir.
What is his fucking purpose? What is fucking point at
To
AEW.
breathe, which he doesn't do very well.
And the thing is, Jericho saying, "Oh, he's a deathmatch legend." I've never fucking heard of him. It's like when you talk of deathmatch legend, I immediately think, oh, Tushi Onita, Jun Kasai, Terry Funk.
Yeah,
Mick
deathmatch
Foley.
legend in the same way that Aaron Cruz is a pussy legend. Come on, fam, fuck off.
Well, he is a pussy, isn't he?
He's a legend
Hey,
of the
hey.
bus. Yeah, no, Luther is a fucking amazing pick. Luther is my pick as well. Fuck Luther. He's a fat sack of shit. Fuck. Serpentico is literally like a fucking he's like Luther's sex toy. I don't get the fucking premise of him, but fucking fuck Luther, fam. Cameron Anderson, we got 10 minutes to go before we run out. Who is the shittest male wrestler of 2021?
All right. So this one, it's not that hard. We live in a world with Shane Thorns and Kip Sabians, all right? But for me, the worst wrestler, when you talk about having no relatability,
Goldberg.
it's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is so awful. He's just the worst. I just cringe. My skin crawls whenever he says anything. Whenever I look at him, he's just the worst.
He's definitely the cringiest wrestler of 2021. Yeah. Cringe, mate. His promos.
Racism.
What is that fucking promo with the Olympic boxer guy? Oh, fucking state of that.
Anthony Ogogo.
Fucking that rivalry was fucking carnage and not the good guy. And it was awful.
Why didn't Ogogo go over? That's all they need to do.
I mean, he's got go in his name, but they can't get him over. Enough said. Jeremy Miller. Who do you think is a big steaming pile of shit in men's wrestling?
Marco Stunt.
Yes!
Yeah.
Because he's so shit that he got thrown out of Jurassic Express for Christian.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. Pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fuck Marco Stunt. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but fuck Marco Stunt. I fucking hate novelty bullshit like that. And people will say, oh, you work on, shows with guys like Little Legs and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. The difference is they work the camp shows and the camp scenes and the comedy shows and things like that. He is firmly placed where he belongs and he does a great job of it. Marco Stunt is actually presented as a serious fuck off joke. Absolute joke. I have no time. Seriously, mate, Little Legs shits all over him. He's not impressive at all. He's just too tall to be a dwarf, which means that Max Mini still reigns supreme as the greatest midget of all time. Fuck you, Marco Stunt. And we move on to our final award, which is basically pretty much the same as what we've just done. The most overrated wrestler of 2021. Cameron Anderson, who is so overrated, it actually burns your britches.
Could just trigger George right now and go with Rhino, but I'm not.
Fuck Rhino.
I'm gonna go.
Shit. No, I'm kidding.
I'm going with Punk. Because I just don't like. What has he done? What has he done since he's come back?
He let Sting jizz face paint onto him.
It's been one of those things where it's like
Eddie Kingston. He had a what? What do you mean? What has he done? The fuck out of here!
Fuck off.
But I can see where Cam means that he's overrated.
It's just been the biggest build-up of all time to this guy just showing up, and then he showed up, and then it's just the same fucking wrestling show that we watch every week. So it's like this guy was meant to be the second coming of Christ, and he's just
a guy. He's just
not that.
he's not the best wrestler in AEW, and he should be by a country margin. So it's kind of a good shout, to be fair. Tanvir, most overrated wrestler you saw in 2021?
I could keep the AEW train going, but I'm going to change it and go for Mr. William Ospreay.
I was waiting. I thought, he's gonna bail on us right at the last. No, he's come through good. The Twitter game. If you follow Tanvir on Twitter, he's so salty. He hates William Ospreay.
He's fucking shit. It's like people are like, why is he so good? I'm like, what? He's not great. It's like you're acting as if he's the greatest ever. When no, what does he do that's special? He's basically Jorge Masvidal and McGregor on with a splice of dyslexia.
You picked two very special MMA fighters. To be fair, they're like Masvidal and McGregor are really successful. Like,
Yeah, they're successful. They've got the character. We'll just take them, both of them, put them together, and be like, "Oh, I'm a British cunt."
I'm a British cunt. Yeah, fair enough. I know that you hate him a lot. That's fair enough. A lot of people hate him for other reasons. Like, I find it very hard to say that he's overrated. Maybe he's not the best wrestler in the world, as Big Daddy Meltzer would have you believe. But yeah, he's definitely overrated to a certain extent. Jay Miller, have you picked an overrated wrestler yet?
I have.
Who did Miller pick?
I'm gonna get hate for it. I guarantee it. I like the guy as a person. I like what he does off screen.
Goldberg.
I picked King Woods.
Okay.
Oh, spicy.
Great as a tag team with the New Day and Kofi. You know, perfect. But single wrestling, he has been horrible. The King of the Ring was horrible. The entire gimmick is horrible. Stick to what you know, and that's video games. Get off the radar. Go back to up, up, down, down. Get with Cesaro. Get with Tyler Breeze, and go play some Uno. Get the fuck out of my screen.
Fair enough. As once again, you're all wrong.
It's Kenny, isn't it, for you?
Well, obviously, it's Kenny Omega. Because
Kenny was my other pick.
So
pick.
Fucking overrated. It's unreal. This guy, do you know what Kenny Omega is? A good IC champion. There you go. Fucking said it. He can't cut a promo to save his life. So he gets Don. Oh, I fucking wonder where my hands went in Impact Callis to fucking be his manager. Yeah, we all fucking know about it, Don. You're wandering hands fuck, allegedly. But the reality of it is, he can't cut a promo, so he gets Don Callis to do it. And the fucking, arguably the worst thing I saw in the entire year was the 69 Me Don promo. What the fuck was that? What a fucking disgusting disgrace to wrestling. For people like ourselves, like especially people like me and Cam who work fucking hard and train hard and work in this business day in, day out. Like, if somebody did that under my fucking time and my dollar, I'd smack them across their stupid poodle head fuck face, which is, of course, Kenny Omega. He's a fucking joke. He's not that good a wrestler. He's fine. He's a decent athlete. He cannot cut a promo. He's been in no good storylines. By the way, couldn't draw fuck all numbers at Impact. Absolute bomb of a champion. People saying, oh, it's incredible that he was the AAA Mega Champion and the Impact Champion as well as AEW. He was representing 3 brands. He wrestled like 3 times in Mexico in the entire year. And also AEW's power play bullshit to keep the belt off of Andrade because they wanted Kenny to look a little bit stronger for a little longer is a fucking joke. So you completely subsidized and minimized the impact of an incredible wrestling organization in Mexico as AAA is. So fuck you for that too. And frankly, your matches just aren't that good. They just aren't that good. I'm sorry. I think they're fucking boring. Same formula. The storylines of them have disappeared. He's become a shell of himself. Boring, fucking boring. Kenny Omega, most overrated wrestler until the end of time at this rate.
Kenny's only had 2 good matches this year, and it was the Bryan match and the Hangman match. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you always say, and I fully agree. Kenny Omega in New Japan is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love that run. But then, like you said, as soon as he came to North America, he kind of lost himself. And then reading up, oh, he's been battling with vertigo since 2018. I went, yeah, that's affected his in-ring. But he was a good promo in Japan. I don't know how he fucked it up this much in North America.
He's too much of a fucking geek. A bit like Xavier Woods, actually. He's too much of a geek. Yeah. And he's obsessed with being a nerd. And there's nothing wrong with being a nerd. But when I watch wrestling, mate, can you imagine how much of an impact The Rock and Austin would have had if they would turn around and went, oh, mate, I love playing Tetris. Tetris is the bollocks, son. Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin, love playing Tetris and Pong in my spare time. What? Like, and then all of a sudden you'd be like, get out of here. Useless. Absolutely useless.
I'd support Austin if he was just, oh yeah, I play Mortal Kombat.
Well, we have 1 minute to go. I think Jeremy Miller needs to bounce because, well, either that or he's doing something. Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. And it's a perfect time to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you let us know what your picks are? And if you're offended by this stuff, don't fucking watch because I don't care. I'm not changing the podcast. Jeremy Miller left, didn't even say goodbye because he's an unprofessional fuck. But yeah, Tanvir, congratulations on your first podcast, sir. Great to have you on. Hopefully we can actually sort you out a mic so you don't sound like you live in a call center for the rest of your life. Cameron Anderson. Be sure to check out Cameron Anderson at Cameron1PW, I believe, on social media because he is a fantastic up-and-coming wrestler, but we'll provide them in the descriptions of the podcast below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening and watching the End of Year Awards. I've been Aaron X, and we'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Plug.